Woo, 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 bum, 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 bum. All right. I did mess with my audio settings a little bit, but I have no idea if it's good or bad. So I'm gonna yap. I'm gonna find out real quick. So give me like about 30 seconds. Okay. So my thinking is. So thinking is. I think we're good. I'm not entirely sure. I noticed with in particular when I was playing or going through the VOD of Monster Hunter Wilds, my audio sounded a little scuffed. So I'm wondering if the noise suppression filter I have on. Okay, it is not. Hello, Ruby. How you doing today? You're here in the pre-stream. Hope you're doing well. I'm fuddling with my audio settings, so bear with me. I've had a really busy day spontaneously and wasn't expecting it. You, you broke your arm? How'd you do that? What happened? That's not good. How? Well, don't do that. Sorry to hear that. Hopefully it feels fast. Well, hopefully the audio sounds all right. I'm also like dying because it's almost 100 degrees here in Michigan again today, which is not fun. I'm trying to like adjust my freaking sound setup a little bit to try to like cancel out some of the noise too. Hopefully this works. I'm really sorry to hear that you fell down the stairs though. Oh, it's just a fracture. Well, I mean, just keep keep listening to what the doctors say to do with it. Take it easy. Don't overexert yourself. Don't do anything obscenely stupid. But I am sorry that happened. It does stink. Sure, everything is ready here. I think for the most part we're good to go. So we'll start. All right. Here. Hello. How we doing? No, Lime. This is not the drive-through for McDonald's, nor is this a Wendy's. But I hope you're doing well today. Good to see you here, Lime. So, um, first question, sir. This is a Wendy's. First question I'm going to ask you, Lime, because I know you have an ear for it. Does my audio sound all right? I noticed on the Monster Hunter VOD when I streamed last that the bass was just absolutely ridiculous. And so I'm wondering if I need to change some stuff up for my audio assists. All right, cool. Cool. I wonder if it's just a setting then for the video game that's causing the bass to be just absolutely obscene. Also, I'm going to apologize. There's going to be a lot of background noise today. I got my laundry going. I have my air on because it is too hot to not, and I also got a fan on as well. So we're struggling today. No, it's good to see you. Hope you're doing well today, Lime. Oh, nice! You do hear an echo. It is entirely possible that there is a bit of an echo. So, the headset that I use, or the microphone I use is a Blue Yeti. And with Logitech, they do have it where you can put in your own noise cancellation settings, like the what's it called? Like your attack, using noise reduction, gate, compressor, all that fun stuff. So when I messed with it briefly last stream, and I don't know if anything like changed on their end, but it's entirely possible that I just have an echo because I had to move. I might have to move my sound. I have this like little sound canceling screen thing set up around my mic to kind of help reduce echo, and I had to move it a little bit today. So I'm gonna try moving it back and seeing if that helps. Like I'm gonna be honest, I probably could just reverse how I have my mic arm working to have a better way to essentially make it so that it's like better surrounded by the sound screen that I have. But I'm also finding that like I need to just take like a day where I got no surprises or whatsoever going on and just tweak with all my stuff, because I do need to update a lot of my setup. So I think we're going to be doing that here soon. Thank you for the hydrate, Lime. I appreciate that. Because like I did listen to it a little bit before I went live to see how bad it might be, but I didn't really hear an echo. But also my hearing is terrible though too. Shut off one too many guns without using proper hearing protection as a younger man. Yeah, the only other thing I can think about doing is so like in case you want to know, right, whenever you're setting up your sound stuff, is you want to have it where it's like just below all other background noise you might have. So that's where I have the settings at currently. Also, this is getting a little loud. Up the volume down. Can you all still hear Spotify just alright? If anything, it might be too quiet at your guys' end. Oh! Alright. Give me a moment here. My mic. Okay, I am curious about something though. Okay, I am curious about something. Yeah, I think it's just me being paranoid. Oh, goodness. See, what I need to do is I just need to break down by that other laptop so I can actually have a like actual proper stream assistant. because then I could like have a separate pair of headphones that I could just swap on, listen to, make sure that audio is coming through all right, and all that other fun stuff. But I don't have that yet. So, where we were at with the story is we just got through Dakota and Alray's first meeting. Alray being the high elf pureblood, and I say that with quotation marks because he's a member of the pureblood political movement, not so much an actual pureblood himself. But so Dakota and Alray had their first meeting. Dakota just did a brief questioning on him, seeing what he was up to, what his motives were. Alray was also kind of gauging Dakota for his character to see how he was and is. But Dakota not being satisfied with any of the answers that he was given, he went to leave and go to visit the Violet Rose, the casino that the Purple Hand gang leads, that Alray is looking to do a business venture with to make them more legitimate. Alray's motives, as he told Dakota, is that he wants to have it where there's more public education available for those in lower districts at a more affordable rate. And there's other things too, but those things we won't see really anything of till we get to the Pureblood arc, where the Purebloods are basically trying to overthrow the established government to reintroduce like segregation and all that garbage. Because like in this world, all the races have basically intermingled so much where it's like everyone's kind of got a little bit of some DNA in them. Like it's kind of rare to have like a half breed or like a full breed thing of anything. And it is kind of funny looking back on it, because technically I have a lot of characters so far that I've introduced that are like half breeds. So we might have to go back and change a couple of them up. I like the idea of Quincy still being a half dwarf, because Quincy as a character, he is related to the judges, so it does make sense for him to be that. But Gregor being a half orc doesn't make as much sense, because he's meant to be somebody that lives in the lower districts, right? The idea is where it's like, the younger you are, the likelihood of you being more of a mixed fantasy being is higher, right? Like Dakota is often mistaken for being an animal-kin descendant. It'll make me blush lime in front of everyone? Next you're gonna ask her an Ara. On to you, Lime. Anyways. Read through. So right now, we are going through... Man, you're making me blush, and now you're dressing me up, Ruby? Howdy, Dot. How you living? Hope you're doing well today, buddy. So yeah, where we left off... I don't know if Edbot responds to howdy. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to make the head pats. Yeah, hold on, Dot Mint. Yeah, I think that should cover all the different spelling. Alright. Howdy Edbot should be live. I didn't find a hand. I'm going to have some trouble right with Chapter 4, but this time I actually have someone on for. Okay, that's good. So, refresh my memory. Ruby, your writing project was about what again? Because it's been a minute since we talked about your project. Hello, chum. How you doing today? Hold on, I have a summary somewhere. I'm gonna find it real quick. That's fair. Because I can't remember if you were the one I was talking to about that was doing like the Real Housewives stuff, or if that was someone else. Okay. Let me get back into the mindset of Reagan here. Well, you made an analogy? Let's hear it. Not that he couldn't handle the coda, but the last thing he wanted to do was have another run with that mutt where it could delay him for him. Tonight he could not be late for his. Tonight would be the night. As tonight was the night he took over the Red Wings. The gang wasn't the strongest gang in New York, but they fit his motives better than the other gang. Red specialized in material handling and smuggling jobs, which meant a constant flow of funds and the ability to spread his influence over vast distances in the city. Naturally, his vampiric side loved the idea of having a network all throughout the city where all information was at his fingertips. Not being a proper part of the postman did cut him off from one of the biggest sources of information in the entire city. Postman data. Okay. Western. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're where we were talking about. We were talking last about how we weren't going to define states for your story because we didn't want to have like a necessarily like pin down ideas, right? Yeah, I remember now. I'm so sorry, I forgot that. My memory has been terrible as of late. Like I'm needing to start writing things down. I think in life I'm a bridesmaid, needed but not important. Aw. Well, you are important, so don't ever feel like you're not. Being felt as not a needed part of society, well, anything really for that matter, is a terrible spot to feel. But just know that you are important and loved, even if it doesn't properly show sometimes. Okay. Well, gotta move that back over so I can actually see my mic because I'm being a little concerned that my mic isn't going to be picking up my voice the entire time. So it turns into the story of how an ordinary kind-hearted girl became one of the most infinite. Yeah. Okay, the Redstone territory. I like that. Like decently important. I'm just there to watch the. Yeah. Oh. Someday you'll find your groomsman. You'll find your person. We all do eventually. All right. Reagan did use that quite to his advantage, or he spoke properly. Oh, you are the one with the desperate house, I think. I am so sorry, chum, for the mix-up. It's been a while since we talked about your story, but I hope that's going well. Save for his own devices. VIPs, HVTs. Good grief, no. HVTs. Well, I mean, just take your time. You know, with everything you do, I mean, there's gonna be a moment where you need to like. Sometimes you just need to put something on hold so you can get some other stuff done. You know, but don't let yourself not be able to go back to it if you have the time to. But it's important to take time to continue projects that you want to continue. And the like. So. Yeah. It can be.
I can feel
the power
of fire!
Say what you will about Gen 2 Bionicle, the online animation things were freaking goofy. Tahu is my favorite Toa boy. Hey! Welcome back, BG. How you doing? How you living today? Captures a Pokemon attack and bonus like Earth or City. Good. Glad to see you. I'm sorry, I do apologize. I've had quite the day, let me tell you. I woke up, I was awoken early this morning with a fraud alert on my debit card, which was something you never want to wake up to, by the way. Especially with how many times it's happened as of late. And it's really annoying, too, because there's no way for me to, like, figure out where this person is getting my card information from. Because all the stuff I do with my card, I tend to if I do stuff online, I do it through PayPal. And then if I do stuff in person, it's only, like, maybe 4 or 5 different locations that I go to use my card at. Like, I haven't even put this card online at all anywhere. So there's only one other place I can think of where my card information is getting stolen from, and it's at work. But I don't know how at work it's getting stolen because I don't scan it at work. But like outside of being here or at the grocery store or home, there's no, or at work or wherever, there's nowhere where I've used my card where somebody has like a way to like. Oh yeah, like I went to Walmart once, and that was the first time when this all started happening. So I haven't gone to Walmart ever since because of that. But now it's like, do they have something at Meijer's? But like whenever I go to Meijer, I go through a cashier lane. So at this point, I'm about to swear off using credit cards, debit cards altogether, and just go back to cash. And then if I need to use my credit card, I'm gonna get a phone wallet where it's just on my phone. Like Google Pay or whatever, which I absolutely loathe, unless PayPal has a similar system set up where I can just use their thing for it. But no, it's been so annoying. Like I need to figure out how this person keeps getting my information so I can nip it at the source, because there's nothing I'm doing. I was gone for 5 minutes. No, I'm just ranting about. So Walmart. All right, the first time my credit card information got stolen was, I think, from Walmart, and I haven't been to that Walmart since. But I have no idea where else my information is getting stolen from card-wise, unless it's at the gas station. Which, if it's at the gas station, that sucks. But I can always just fill up my truck with cash and just keep cash on me all the time. But it's just annoying because it's like, what's the point of having a credit card if I'm never going to use my credit card to get groceries, get gas, or use it, right? So it's like I might as well just get rid of it. All my online shopping I have go through PayPal so I can have authorization track. But that's the thing. I usually use the tap scan for cards. I don't usually insert it because of that very reason. Unless they now have like the ability to make fake shit like tap readers. See, that's the other thing that really sucks though too, is because like it used to be back maybe a couple years ago. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like I have no idea how this Joker's getting my card information, but they're for frickin' Ireland and they keep posing as a LinkedIn recruiter. If it's the gas station itself doing it, I would imagine there'd be more people targeted for it. You know, like there'd be a much more of an outcry about it because it's always the same gas station I go to. It may not always be the same pump, but it's the same gas station I go to. So that was my morning. It is very absurd. Like, the thing that bothers me the most about it, right, is I've had a debit card. Sorry, I completely lost my train of thought there. Sorry, give me a second, BG, I'll read what you put. Like, I've had a debit card since I was, like, 16 years old, right? I have never, in, like, nearly 15 years of my existence, like, 15 years of having a debit card, I've never once had my information ever get stolen. I've never once had to deal with credit card fraud. But over the last year, I have had to deal with it like 4 or 5 times. And it is absurd to me that I've had to do this. Like, I'm not putting the bank on blast because I don't know if it's them, but you would think that there should be options where I can just like automatically have denied purchases set up if it's a foreign area that's taking my card information, right? Like, it's like, oh, well, have you looked to see if you have a LinkedIn? I deleted my LinkedIn. Of course I don't have a LinkedIn. I looked through my subscription history with Microsoft. I only have my Xbox Live stuff and Office stuff there. Like, there is no place that could be having my information unless they're straight up stealing it off of me off my wallet because I don't have like an RFID blocking tag in my wallet. And why would I need that? They're also freaking expensive too, and it's really annoying. So there's only like 2 places I can think of where my card information is getting stolen. And if it's the one place, you're going to hear about it in the news, people. Because I'm going to blow the cap off that place. I'm going to let the world know. Anyways, BG, you were saying, at the moment, your MC is found in Kiddu. And Kiddu tells the MC that he is on a mission to defeat the beast of the Cinder Force of Umbaba. Okay. Thank you for the hydrate, Ruby. Yeah, no, I kind of went on a rant there. Gotcha. That's cool. This is also your fantastical retelling, right? Sorry again, my memory has just been absolute garbage this last little bit. Gotcha. Thank you for the hydrate again. Motherfucker. Well, that's probably where it keeps getting stolen from then. Which that pisses me off. And I guess they must be using like a VPN to like make themselves look like they're from Ireland and they're posing as LinkedIn recruit, so like most people won't notice it, but it's like, motherfucker, of course I would notice if LinkedIn is using my shit because I don't have LinkedIn recruiter. I've worked for GM for over 10 years. I don't think I'm looking for another job anytime soon. And why would I want to use that service anyways? Rather suck my own dick than use LinkedIn for business stuff. Megan did use that to his advantage before he split from the postman properly. So Humbaba is a giant. Okay. Be a unit. Having whatever data he could have siphoned off saved devices so he can have a gauge of where VIP's HP caches of postman tech, hidden bunkers, and the like were throughout the city. You know, that game does have a lot of visual stimuli, doesn't it, Lime? So pick up these places would have the system set up to catch him in his history. Oh, okay, I guess we just won't have though there. That's where his thrall would come in. A very handy little power you obtained. So many flashing lights, yeah. Tetris effect is really crazy about that. The only constant history sources I trust are extra history, Wikipedia. Yeah. In all honesty, though, too, it's like Wikipedia, while it is a very good source of information, it is something you should still be hesitant towards because anyone can edit it. But yeah. Yeah, exactly what Dot just said, too. Also, there's an ad, so I don't know if you can hear me anyways. Teehee. He's Thrall's with him. Making a Thrall, something he had no idea he could do. It would be very handy. He, of course, had to obtain that ability, the ability to make Thrall through his finger splicing. But through studying more of what vampires lords can do, Yeah, like, generally it is a good source. But yeah, you definitely want to double check your sources. Like, go to, for the most part, Wikipedia will have sources for the information that they do. Yeah. Like, they'll typically have a footnote proving where they got the information from, but it's still a great idea to actually do another search to verify the information there. Important to do so. So I can think it's all. I can see this one. Make sure history and my primary source. Yeah. Lime, you're on one today. Alrighty. You get this stretch. You're what it? Autistic. Fair enough. Bark, bark. Woof, woof. There. Is that enough? I feel like that's enough. More test subjects. Forgot to do what? Ow! Ah, they're bullying me! Oh my word! We're not gaming today! There's the secondary nature. Get that smoke hazy out of here. You needed the... This gaggle supposed to be 2G's it is. He needed the mass group of people to be able to have a merry gaggle of men for his tests. I can't believe TTS is mother yuck. Well, it's probably because it sounds too close to motherfucker. That's probably why. Secondary nature taking over the age. That is where secondary nature taking over the age. He needed the mass group.
Yucker.
Yucker. Yucker. So funny. Need the mass group of people to try to be. Needed it the mass group of.
Mother of Yucker.
Mother of Yucker. Mother Yucker. He needed the mass group to. Needed the mass group of clean foot soldiers. Oh, you got the two-piece. Alright. Good luck on your lurk, Dot. I do wonder. Carry out his objectives. But also to be able to have a merry gaggle of men for his tests on. That's good. Ooh, a 9. That is rough. Depending on your skill checks, though, it could pass. Stuff like Britannia are decent. Yeah, I'd agree. I would agree to that. Still need to. Um. You find it funny how this bit of Reagan has been him just like laying out his plan and why he's doing everything. I feel like it's too oh, what's the word? Expository. I really don't know how else to write this. Reagan did use that to his advantage before he split, because it's like the reason why he will know so much is because he basically siphoned off the Postman data horde to have. I don't have any gold, but you know, if you take some high level alchemy and a bunch of raw material, you could in theory alchemize it into gold. I don't remember what your magic's got to be for that though, but I know you could do it in RuneScape. I am really freaking sleepy. I'm so sorry. No, I don't have any gold. We've had this discussion before, by the way, Lime. I don't have gold. Non-woodsmith, price to pay for a modern-day vampire lord disposes. Such a being should be more revealed among the ranks of judges. Rights denied. Also lowly having a walk among the cattle. He softly groaned as he saw that there was barely any elbow room. Okay, so he's up in the sky at this point, right? So if he's up in the... Actually, you get two... You're not getting the blood out of my... No. I'm not giving you the gold I have in my blood. Thank you very much. I need that. I'm assuming it's for like conducting some sort of like neuropathic responses or something through my blood. I'm struggling how I want to rewrite this. The gold. See, that's what somebody would say if they want the gold in my blood, though. You know? That sounds entirely like something somebody would say if they want to get the gold out of my blood. You know? It sounds like you're trying to steal something I actually need. When I get to the Hembaya fight, I may have Shamash intervene and paralyze him so that the MC and... I'll do that. Also, I'm going to be very mad if my headset is getting staticky. I can't tell if that's just Spotify being Spotify or if like my headset jack is acting up. I hope it's not acting up. There's no way that he could handle the Chota. So we still need some... Taking a look over the city around him, he breathed in deeply and sighed out and he chuckled. Megan. So, taking a look. No, I like taking a look. So I do think there's no. Oh, it's Romulus! Hi, buddy. Noble Phantasm of the Fate 7 chain is interesting since the only person to use it was Gilgamesh. Used it to change my characters. Ow! No! Ow! How you doing, Romulus? Doing well. Let's see here. Guess you can take a rig up and make scene tonight. Ow! Keep throwing shit at me. Which, I mean, is kind of the point where I got that anyway, so I can't really complain about it. Over a will. Hey, it's Walk in the Woods. Really annoying that this song is starting to get copyright notices on streaming stuff, but it's not like, how do I want to say, like, it's getting noticed as like, hey, this could cause issues in the future, which sucks. Doing all right? Nice! That's good. I'm glad you got that much of your Imperial Terran Empire lore done. Kasuna, we're not gaming today! I have been hit with gaming and balls and chairs like 9 times. Ow! You menaces. I hope you're doing well today, Kasuna. That's good, Romulus. I'm glad to hear you've gotten that much. Never. You're gonna make me take a walk. Fine. You know what? Fine. I'll go walk. You know what I'm gonna do on that walk? I am going to get a drink. I'm going to reset my posture. I am going to stretch. And then, I don't know, maybe check on my laundry because I think it might be done. Menaces. You maniacs. Also, that's a lot of points you all just dropped. Good grief. Good grief. Hot to me. Yeah. I really like it. Oh. Please. The wash is done. No! I can't believe you made me do dog noises now. What's next? An Ara from you too? Freaking needy people. At least I don't have the head pat redeem yet. Wolf. A bark bark. Howl. Ow! Ugh, bullying me, dude. Ugh. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised, but, like, you know, here we are. Me being surprised. Anyways. Hopefully my headset isn't dying, because I keep hearing static. Really alarming. Yeah, let me see here. It's been quite a few months since Sergen had been back out of his hideout as he tugged a tattered and worn jacket over his figure. There was no way he could hide his size from onlookers, but at the very least he could disguise himself as a larger animalkin. All to keep people from making the connection that he was the dreaded bloodsmith from last year. Secrecy annoyed Reagan as he yearned to just be able to go out and be on the prowl and strike fear into the hearts of these citizens once more. To make himself feel all the more powerful. SpongeBob me, Bob, but promise me you'll never eat at Arby's. Oh, I'm fucking dying. Oh, SpongeBob. I didn't realize Tom Clancy was going to be in the new Edge Runners. This effort to just keep people. SpongeBob. Yeah, I had a slip, okay? It happens. Like, you remember the incident with the bubble gum, right? No, I have not had a nip slip on stream. That would be preposterous. I don't have nips on this model. That made it sound like I have another model. I don't have another model that has nips. Not yet! What is that supposed to mean? Can't believe Lime is going to push the trains. I shouldn't joke about that. I shouldn't joke about that. I know Pride Month is over, but that's still a very, very terrible joke just to say. I was gonna crack a joke about the trans agenda being pushed on me. And I was gonna do a terrible Alex Jones impression to sell it. But I decided that would probably be in poor taste. It's like, I was gonna continue with the joke and talk about how it's the 1st of July. Yeah. And like, it is the month of wrath, it's the month of the demons. You know? That's why I stopped myself, because like, I probably shouldn't. I'm a little too full of vinegar today to be just... Because the problem is, right, is like, I could joke about it. I could crack a joke and pull off the Alex Jones voice or like do the Donald Trump impersonation. But out of context, that would get me in a lot of trouble. I don't want to get in a lot of trouble. I already have enough stress going on today as is. Last thing I need me drinking pure vinegar. Now is the time for wrath. The price to pay for being a modern day vampire lord, he supposes. Such a being. Soared up the side of the building, registering the brief sensation of wind nipping against his face as he effortlessly scaled over the structure. Oh. Oh. You said nipping. The Vampire Lord was pleased with his powers returning at full force after so long of surviving off dregs. As he hovered above the tall building for a moment, he made sure he was unseen before setting himself down on the top.
Yo, guys, it's me, Charlie. Hey, did that guy just turn into sand?
Yeah, what was that?
I do find it funny how there's just that brief flash of green as that scene dissolves away. One seemingly heeded his call as it helped him land safely on the rooftop without barely any noise. Perfection. Those fools would be smart not to challenge me now, he said softly to himself as he gathered his surroundings. The issue with his plan now was that he spent all this time in the eyes of thralls on the street level to find his way to his objective, so being at the rooftops was not a way he felt he knew. His objective, though, was near the tallest building in the district, the Violet Rose, so once he found that, the rest should be a cakewalk. So long as that accursed mutt didn't show himself. Not that he couldn't handle Dakota, but the last thing he wanted to do was have another run-in with that mutt where it could delay him from his objective. Tonight, he could not be late for his important date, as tonight was the night he took over the Red Wings gang. The gang wasn't the strongest gang in New Albany. It fit his motives better than the other gang. The Red Veins specialized in material handling and smuggling jobs, with a constant flow of funds and the ability to spread his influence over vast distances in the city. Naturally, his vampiric side loved the idea of having a network throughout the city where all information was at his fingertips. But not being a part of the Postman did cut him off from the biggest sources of information in the entire city, Postman data board. Does Reagan die? You want me just to spoil how Reagan dies? That seems a little counterintuitive, my friend. If I tell you how Reagan dies, how will we be able to enjoy everything else? You know? We can't just like... You know what I mean? So... That's the thing, right? Is like, you kind of want a comical death for the villain. But there's also part of you that's like, why not just keep him around? I have an idea, like, alright, I'm gonna keep it $150, right? I'm not entirely sure I want him to die yet. Mostly on the account, I am a sucker. Slipping on banana peel into a fiery pit. So, the one idea I had for his death that I thought would be really, really cathartic is if during the final fight where Dakota and Reagan are going all out, Dakota's got the sword that he has. What did we call the sword? What did we call the sword? Something. Sword. 3 feet belly length. Do we not? Do we not actually name the sword? I could have sworn we named the sword. Did we? Oh. Romulus! We didn't name the sword. Oh no. I don't owe you nothing. Powerful on the. Ow! Romulus! You're gonna run out of. You're gonna make it so you can't throw more stuff at me for the rest of the stream. Only because you'll run out of cooldowns. But where on Earth? Rudimentary and Quincy, stocky half dwarf. Stupidity opening up told me a sword's a scabbard. This is funny how he keeps referring to it as a silly sword. Unlocked up dark, picture. Nice. I swear we named the sword. I could have swore we named the sword. Did we not actually name it? That's annoying. Is it in the other document? We never named the sword. It's annoying. I could have swore we did. Well, we'll just go back down here. Okay. I like the name Dawn's Vengeance, but it sounds like it's not Dawn. Night Spain is already a name. Something. Let me think. Alright. We need to workshop a name for the Sword Gamers. I could have swore I had a name written down for it. Do we save the file name as a name for it? It's like, it could just be simple and call it, like, the Power Sword, but that's already a name of sword in, like, everything. I like your first choice. Imagine being cut down by, oh no! That would be really funny. But I feel like it needs a good name. I feel like it needs... I didn't name it on the document either. The balls, man. Actually, kind of mad about that. I would have thought I would have given a name. Well, if we're gonna have a name for it, it needs to be where Quincy talks about it. So let's go back to... No, I don't want... I want to find... Me, I am back. Welcome back, Dotment. I just realized we never actually named the sword. Sword needs a name. And I'm struggling with names. Because, like, all the good, like, Dawn, like, as in, like, that, Dawn, all, like, good things I can think of with the term Dawn in it, like, Dawnbringer, Knights, like, there's too many of that, so I kind of want to do it, call it, yeah, I think, but it's, but the thing is like, it's not a werewolf-themed weapon. In fact, it'd be like a bane. Might need to consult the, yeah, but like, again, this was made to kill the supernatural, so you wouldn't call it, yeah. You know, it's not, it wasn't made for Dakota. Dakota just has it because it's the one thing guaranteed to kill a vampire lord. I know the blade, it's... Alright, I got an idea. Garlic knife. Hold on. When all else fails, mash languages together. What the heck is English? I always forgot how dumb Google Translate listing is. To I'm kind of curious about something. That's a what too? That's Maori for Starblade. Would you say that Honoratella meant to be an L or an I? I won't let me listen. Why can't it let me listen to freaking stupid translate and inhale my dong? Tella. Really? I can't prove it, but this guy looks like he's freaking AI generated. Goodness, it's another AI video. What the balls? Can I just hear it? Bro, I know Gaelic is kind of a dead language, but like I should still be able to. Allah. I like the idea of calling it Star. Star Saber is a word already. I think that's Transformers Prime. Light of Stars, is we called it. Starfall back in its prime. It was made. How do we like that? Light of Stars, Starfall. I kind of like Starfall. I think that's a really good name for it. Garlic knife? What are you going to do? Stab me with your lightsaber? Starfall. Light of Stars. Yeah, I know the blade. Light of Stars. So that's what we'll do. We'll call it Starfall. Starfall. There we go. I mean, it could be funny to have him be like, "What are you gonna do? Stab me with a garlic knife?" Like, that would be kind of funny. But so the whole reason why we went on this tangent about we never actually named the stupid sword is because I was going to talk about how one of the, like, I'm still debating on what I want to have happen to Reagan, right? If I want him to die at the end of this, or if I want him to be imprisoned, because I have a soft spot for when a series has the main villain and the hero team up. Maybe make it a lesser enemy who doesn't know what it is. Well, see, that's the thing. Like, nobody knows that it's freaking this legendary sword that's capable of smiting the supernatural, right? Nobody knows that. The only people who know about that are, like, Eerie, because she's a being beyond time, and Quincy, because his granddad made the sword, you know? So, like, it would be funny is if when... So my thinking is to do that idea of, like, oh, somebody not mega important, it could be who ends up being Reagan's, like, left-hand man in the Red Veins that Dakota ends up using against him. I mean, yeah, in a way. But, like, the whole idea of this sword is that it's specifically designed to kill supernatural things because it was made to deal with a vampire lord. And the byproduct of being able to deal with a vampire lord is that anything supernatural, this sword can destroy. And it's not that big of a blade either. Welcome back, chum. Hope work is going somewhat well. But no, we just decided... We just decided on a name for the sword. And the whole reason why we decided on a name for the sword is because I realized I never made a name for the sword for... You know what you could write? And I finished work. Oh, congratulations. Glad you're off your shift. But what could I write, chum? What is your suggestion? I feel like I haven't done much writing in this, like, hour and 20 minutes we've been writing. Usually can take a moving scene. Okay, since they're using it, since there used to be plans for bumping the... I could probably do well with it, but the problem is like, I feel like I would want to know or play it closer to the original series more so than just like taking the IP and running with it. But that is high praise. Thank you very much for that. I spelled scabbard wrong. Oh, neither have I. I've watched clips, but I never watched the actual full show. Cosmonaut Variety Hour, Mark is his name, did a review of it because he was like going over a bunch of different Joss Whedon products or productions because of what's the name? He was doing like a comparison between like Zack Snyder and Joss Whedon's work for I think Justice League. Due to the ad zone cameo. Oh really? I wouldn't know that. But no, it was a pretty popular show. I also know that the actress for Buffy, was also who played Daphne in the live-action Scooby-Doo movies. Anyways. Italy fidgeted with the star small scabbard as he got out of the vehicle. Omni vehicle outside of... I spelled business wrong. How do you not have just brick and mortar? What? It's supposed to be that one. Yeah, I don't mind rewriting things that already exist. Like, I think I would have a fun... Is Motar, isn't it? Yeah, freaking Mortar. I don't know if I've ever heard of Constant Pain. Splendorous. Oh, simple box with brick and mortar walls and some... Bloom. So Nietzsche, I love it. Also, oh, okay. You seem to know a lot about canceled pilots, chum. Pretty cool. Also, what's so niche? I missed it. Single episode 11 minutes. Oh, that constant pain. Got it. Building wasn't splendorous at all. A simple box with brick and motor walls. You know, like brick and... Oh, you want the hyphens. Fine, whatever. Also had some alcoves on the roof for guards to be perched up in to discourage the curious. Oh, okay. I wouldn't call it piracy. Just copyright infringement. As he approached the gang's guards. Loom. He raised his hands over his head before placing them. I would. It would depend on when you stream, though. Because I do work usually 6:30 to 2:30 in the first half of the day. I'm the only one-ish who knows the Zeta Project. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever heard of the Zeta Project. But yeah, I mean, I would watch. I mean, shoot, I'd watch your YouTube videos too if you did those. His hands over his head before placing them behind. Interlocked. His fingers and turned themselves around to show he just wanted to talk. Oh, it was made based on a Batman Beyond episode. Really? Savage would judge me live stream if I were streamed him streaming. I mean, technically. He just wanted to talk and was coming in with only his sword. Kept his pistols on the inside of his coat. He did feel like he may need those yet. I mean, I would imagine so. I don't... Batman Beyond is probably one of my favorite DC animated shows, though. Like, in terms of DC animated shows, Batman Beyond is so good. I also like the Justice League series, the Unlimited, regular Justice League, Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series. All good shows. All great shows. I mean, realistically, probably the only DC animated show I really didn't like was, like, maybe Batman the Brave and the Bold, but that was because that was the first time out of all, like, the Batman DC animated stuff that I watched where I was like, oh, I am clearly too old for this. But even then, yeah, but it was still a great show. But it was like I would watch an episode and be like, no, I'm way too old for this now. Like, there's a difference when it's a show, of course, an ad. But to me, the difference between, like, Batman the Brave and the Bold and Batman Beyond was that, like, animated series felt like it continued into Batman Beyond. So, like, I was still also a kid when that show came out, and it still felt mature enough to watch. But for whatever reason, Batman the Brave and the Bold, while it was a good show, it felt way too much like a kid's show for me to really get into, right? Another show that kind of had that same thing, but not exactly, because the Batman, the Batman was so good. A little wacky on the designs, but that was because it was, like, the same animation studio that did the Jackie Chan Adventures show. That was also a really good show, too, though. I have a new friend invite. Steam. Hold on, I need to check this. Who are you? I don't know who you are. It's really funny when I get a random friend request on Steam and it's like I have no idea who it is. But yeah, so, like, Batman the Brave and the Bold, to continue my thought before the ads rudely interrupted us. Batman the Brave and the Bold, like, it was a good show. It had great moments, but it definitely was like, oh, this is... for context, too, I'm over 30 years old. So, when that show was coming out, it was, like, already felt like a kid's show to me just because of, like, the age range. But then also, too, because of just... I was older then. You know, it's just one of those things where it's like Batman Beyond, like, I was still a kid when, like, Batman Beyond was coming out, or, like, when Justice League was coming out, or any of that stuff. And it's like I would have rather had those things continue than have a new show. Also, yeah, like, it definitely was more humorous than serious. But when it wanted to be serious, though, Batman Brave and the Bold was very, very serious, and I think that was a good thing. I think it was a great thing when it had those moments. Because, like, kids' shows shouldn't be shy to handle mature subjects, you know? Like, some of my favorite media from when I was a kid, Bionicle, it took a little bit to get to the mature stuff. Like, it probably wasn't until, like, the third story arc where we really started, like, having to deal with, like, life or death or stuff like that, or, like, having that kind of, like, mature grounding. But then from there on out, it was kind of forefront of the plot that there was a loss of innocence in the world, and that was when everything started being a lot more realized in Bionicle. Was after that point, especially, like, the Ignition arc where the universe is dying. So the stakes were pretty high for that. And then, but, like, Halo, again, very important series. If you were here for my Titanfall rant, you know what I was talking about with Halo and why it's important to me and why a game like Titanfall is also important to me. But then also, like, knowing that the story was more than just super strong cyborg man saves the day. It was also a matter of, like, what the other thing was about it in the end for like where I was at in my life at that point in time too. There's a lot of symbolism there. Okay. Not a bad daydream. I mean, the thing is that's nice is there are relatively cheap starter models out there. And I say relatively cheap because like getting a custom made VTuber model is very, very expensive. So much so that it's like I doubt I will ever actually get a properly made model of Dakota. I'll probably just stick with like a reactive PNG for a long time and then go into doing a model. Like this model right here that I use cost me like $120. And it's a full customizable model. I did burn my finger earlier, son of a gun. Really annoying. After a few moments standing there like that, districts or areas, and having been a pugilist as his first career, Dakota seen all that gangs should do when they were unopposed. After a few moments of standing there like that, two burly Bearkin guards gang guards. Let's go guards. Come up and place a hand on either side of his shoulder and help him face back towards the building. I mean, you'd be surprised at how many VTubers do that. I don't have any, like, confirmation about it, but, like, a lot of VTubers, when they start out, they do take out a loan to make a model. And then you can, like, write it off as taxes for paying it off, but you'd also want a job for it. But, like, models can be, like, just talking with some of the other VTubers I know, I mean, you're looking anywhere to, like, on 4 digits at least. Couple, like maybe up to, I don't know, $1,500. Which, realistically, it's a lot. Like, for context, that's me working a full 48-hour week and I take home about $1,500 before taxes. Say about, it's a little bit more, but I do have money that gets taken out for union dues, all that other stuff. Like, if I wanted to get a model, I would essentially just work a bunch and then get one made. But personally, with the kind of stuff I want to do, I feel like it'd be better just to stick with like a PNG or like a 2D modeled model to sell the nature of what Dakota would look like, you know? But yeah, if it's something you want to try to do, I don't see the harm in doing it. But I think your bank would get a little hesitant on giving you a personal loan just for a VTuber model, you know? So I want to skip that. Shook his head. Maybe. Maybe. There's no way to know for sure. I also just, I don't know, man. It's one of those things where it's like, I've been debt-free for a while now, and I kind of like being debt-free. So, like, the idea of, like, taking out a loan to get a model, kind of just a little foreign to me right now. Like, could I do it? Yeah, sure. I easily could. I could even take it out on my credit and then just, like, slowly pay it off, but I would like to get a house first before I, like, put money towards a VTuber model. And I'm not, like, trying to tell people not to chase their dreams or whatever, but that's just me. Anyways. He shook his head slightly as he figured if she was here, she was probably... No, I want to be out here. Guards gave him a quick nudge and led him into the building, with the one on his right radioing in that they were bringing him in. The Purple Hand was living up to Truly's words so far. They were very professional. The guards then gave Dakota a quick nudge, making him stumble forward a bit as they took up posts on either side the entryway, flanking the door they came in through. Dakota looked around in the darkened room. I think the VTuber model and VTubing is a business venture. Measuring against how much you need to borrow plus interest changes the chance. Because the chances you be able to. Yeah, that's actually a really good way to put it, Romulus. Because it's like, that's why it's so like putting the upfront cost up before you know how much money you're going to make off of it is the risk, right? So, for transparency's sake. For context too, to help explain it a bit better, right? I bought this model because it's $120. $120 is relatively easy for somebody of my position to spend on a model. Because one, the amount of income I take, if I stream for a few months, or maybe a bit longer than a few months, I shouldn't sell myself that high. When I got affiliate in March, I think I had the model then. And since March, I've made about $70. So in the course of 4 months, I've made money enough to pay for over half the model, right? So in order for you to make that cost back in a year before like your APR and your other like increases of interest would take hold in, you know, having an interest rate on your loan, you would need to make however much you spent on the model in that year to compensate, right? So for me though, because I work a full-time job at General Motors and I get paid a very good wage for what I do, I'm not trying to say like $120 isn't a lot, but relatively speaking, for how much money I'd be making on stream and how much money I'd be making there, I can work overtime at General Motors and make $120 easy that I can use for whatever I want, right? I could work 4 hours, which equals out to be about 6 hours worth of pay, and that 6 hours worth of pay has funded everything I've put money towards in my streaming so far, right? So in your position, if you're wanting to take out a loan for streaming, you know, to make a VTuber model and everything else, you got to look at the total cost that you're going to be using to do that, right? And for more transparency, while the model may have cost me $120, it still cost me about $30 for buying this stuff on VTuber Studio, so I don't have to deal with the watermark, and I can have, actually I can pull it up on Steam, hold on. So for VTube Studio on Steam, right, I have the remove watermark, which was $15. So for that DLC, so far for what I have right now, I've spent with VTuber Studio and the model, I'm at 100 and let's just say for sake easy math because of taxes, $150, right? So $150 for what I've spent so far on the model, and then the Twitch integrated throwing system was another $20. And then to keep Edbot running properly, I am subbed with Edbot to my own channel so he can use the emotes. I'm honestly debating on stopping that just so I can save a little bit more money, because I don't really need him to have emotes to send out the notifications. While they are great, it's not needed, you know? He's just there to, like, help auto-mod the chat, help push out like tweets or stuff like, or not tweets, but like Discord notifications, things like that when I go live. There are other bot services that I could get to do that for for this. But the other thing is, too, is like, Dom, thank you for stopping in, though, buddy. I do hope you have a good night's rest. Take it easy, buddy. Rest well. But yeah, like, if you're going to get into this, and I know this is kind of like sudden and off the cuff of like, we're writing, why are we talking about this? It's a discussion we're having right now. If you want to do this, you gotta have like a reason to show that there's potential for you to make the money. So like I wouldn't. The only reason why I ended up going with model before I was an affiliate was because I had a hunch I'd get there, and then also too because of how fast I could make that money with my main job. I didn't feel like I needed to worry about, not being able to make that money back up outside of this. So, but let's say if I wanted to make a 3D model that is legitimately just for Dakota Howell, right? The Twitch Sona that this is all being done for, all the story, all the background writing stuff that we've been doing for the last few months has been for Dakota. So if I was to go do that and take out a loan for him, I would have to not only work more at General Motors to cover the loan cost, but then I would also need to stream more to make up for, to help show that I am making money off my stream, which means I would need to push my stream content out there more to get a bigger audience. And then I start to lose the nature of what the streaming stuff is in the first place. It's meant to be a hobby that I share with you guys. Now, if it's your hobby, and you don't really care about the money, you do whatever you want to do. And if you make it, you make it. That's cool. Not a lot of people can say that they've made it to affiliate even on Twitch, let alone a partner. So that's the thing about it, is like you have to be willing to be okay with that money being a loss if you want it to be something you want to do, or like a hobby, right? But realistically, a lot of YouTubing stuff, from my limited understanding, comes more so from the fact that people enjoy the person that plays the character as much as they enjoy the character that it is. So that's why it's hard for somebody that VTubes to just be a VTuber model of themselves versus an idealized or like a stylized version of themselves, right? Like, I would consider this model that I have right now to be a stylized version of myself. He's granted a lot more skinnier than I am in real life. He's a freaking dog boy, for crying out loud. Last I checked, I'm a human. And, there's some things about his character that I've played up to make him look the way that he does through the customization of the model kit that I have. But then you also got to worry about other things too, like if you licensing out your model for merchandise or whatever have you. So like an example, I can't monetize this model because the customizable model kit that I had doesn't have anything in there for me to monetize him for. So, and in essence, if I was to try to make merchandise, for example, I couldn't use this model as a reference for that. I could use a character that is inspired by how it looks because it's meant to be a stylized version of me, but anything pertaining to this model, specifically the style of the model, like the creator's elements, let's say, I can't use that, right? So there's a lot that goes into it, and part of why I'm interested in it is because I like learning about things that I'm interested in. And I'm kind of interested in the VTubing streamer space because to me, it's one of those things where it's like, it's a creative outlet, and I like having creative outlets as much as I also have a way to do things with people when I'm really wanting company to do something with, right? And I also kind of enjoy knowing that there are people that enjoy spending time with me as much as I enjoy spending time with them, right? The main reason why I stream isn't because I'm making a ton of money off of it. I'm not making much money doing this, but I've often joked about how it was the reason why I've even started doing this is because Twitch made me an affiliate, so why not stream more to do that, right? So, but the real reason is because it's something that allows me to have a creative outlet, along with have a thing that I can always do with people when I don't have stuff to do with my other friends, or like my other friends are busy or whatever have you. I have an outlet, right? And it's also good too because I love writing, and this has really been a good source of inspiration for me to continue writing again. I haven't wrote anything like this in years. Like, I've made D&D character backgrounds, I've made roleplay character backgrounds, but I've never actually done something to this extent where I've started writing my own story that's completely fictional. Like, this isn't like a fan work, or this isn't a like set in another universe that I don't have any intellectual control over. This is my own thing. And it's been cool and really motivating to me that there are people out there, even if it's only a handful of people, that are still interested in this. Because even if there's just a couple of you guys, it's still motivating enough for me to want to do this. So I guess the point in the shape of the tooth of what I'm talking about here is Blime, Romulus, BG, Chum, Ruby, anyone else who may be here watching today, Dot. If this is something you want to try to do, go for it. You know, chase that dream if you want to try it. You know, I mean, just, you know, one of the things about this story too that I have written in there, it's in the foreword, right? In the foreword, I talk about how the guy that created the Arcane Chronicles has that note where he talks about how right here, he says, "Hey, you don't know me nor I you, but this is a project of love from three brothers. We often butted heads, we often argued, but we always came together to enjoy a Saturday morning cartoon when we got the chance. Those days are long gone for us now. We moved on and we grew up, but still here I am. I published our works with an overseas company from Japan. It took nearly all I had to do this, but I believe our vision came true with this afterwards. We made our own Saturday morning cartoon. It, well, never got picked up by anybody. I lost all the money, but I did. Our dream was realized. We did it. And the point of this all is sometimes chasing your dreams will lead to them coming true, but not in the way that you think. This is proof of that. I may never see the day where this cartoon takes off, but we made sure we had enough to work with just in case. We could go on for 7 or even 10 seasons. We might even outshine Scooby. Like, the point of why this is, you know, that was written even to begin with, isn't just to, like, pad out a story. It's because there's a level of saying you've done something that you've wanted to do, even though it never took off as a dream, right? But you still got to do something that's involved with your dream. And that is enough to be willing to want to continue trying to do something and always pushing forward in a way that, like, helps you or makes you a better person, or, like, helps you expand your reach or expand your horizons, or make you fall in love with something that you used to really love doing. Like, I can say the biggest thing that the streaming stuff has done for me, outside of, like, having more people to talk to and expanding my social circle, is also it has given me a reason to write this story out. You know, I've always wanted to write a story, but I've just never taken the time to do it. And that's the thing that I can say about this right here, is that this has allowed me to write a fictional work that I'm proud of and people enjoy. And I would have never thought of that being a thing that would happen. And so, yeah, if you want to try streaming, if you feel like that's something you want to try to do, I'm not going to tell you no. I'm just going to tell you to be prepared to spend money, because it's an expensive thing to do. Even though I went cheap about it, it's still expensive. So hopefully that helps out people. Thanks, Romulus. I'm also just incredibly thankful for the other people that have streaming Rock Simulator. Hey, do it, man. But that's the thing, is, like, I'm thankful for the other people that have allowed me to join up with them in their stuff to kind of help me get to this point. So, like, yeah, if this is something you're interested in and you want to give it a shot, freaking go for it. The worst that's going to happen is you don't go anywhere, but you won't go anywhere if you don't try anyways. So go for it. With that, though, we are at 2 hours in. How are we feeling here today? I do kind of feel like I need to call it, because I do need to get things done before we go to because tomorrow I am leaving for my family trip. I do plan on being back Sunday, so I might be able to stream Sunday night, but I'm not sure. So for now, though, I think with that, I'm feeling pretty good with where we're at right now with the story. I'm gonna go ahead and get this saved, move this over to the Google document, so if I do have time to work on it this weekend, I can. But I won't be able to stream because, well, I won't have a way to stream. But with that all, an insignificant, I think that's how you say it. All sloppy, no Joe. I think we're gonna call it here for tonight. So I do want to thank you guys so much for being here. I really do appreciate you guys showing up. It's not just me saying it just for the sake of saying it, because you know how there's people that take, like, I watched this video deep dive today on the terrible freaking streamer, The Faithful Sheriff, and his history. Of course, there's an ad. So that's something where it's like, the dude's just trying to chase clout, and like that's how he's like trying to make his money, right? Or whatever. But the last thing I want to do is forget this, forget these moments where it's just like a small group of us and we're engaging in a conversation. Thanks, Romulus. I will do my best to have a safe time on my trip. It's never me you got to worry about being a safe, right? Like, I'm always going to be safe. It's the other people you need to worry about. But yeah, no, just, I want to make sure that I'm still genuine and I don't let this get to my head if any of this ever takes off. Would it be cool if it does? Absolutely, because then I could just have my own life and be my own boss and not have to worry about anything. But even then, it's like, I still kind of enjoy having a job. I still really enjoy having an excuse to get out of the house and do more than just be here all the time and on my computer. But anyways, with that all being said, I do hope you all have a good night. I do hope that you all have a safe weekend. I know us Americans are going to be celebrating our 250th year of being a country. So everybody be safe out there that's an American that's watching. The rest of you guys, have a good, safe weekend. Enjoy your time. Stay cool. I know it's hot everywhere right now. So do your best to stay hydrated, stay cool, stay safe. Don't do anything too crazy. And with that all being said, I hope you all have a good night, and I will see you guys more than likely on Sunday. Pay attention to my social medias to know for sure. And yeah, you'll have a good night. Take care, everybody. Bye.